I think it's on. But I can't tell because it's not coming on behind me. Okay, here we go.
Oh, I see. Oh, there we are.
I think there might be a lot of lag here.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to fix that yet. But I will. But I can't tell because it's not coming on behind
Okay,
me.
now I'm gonna have to turn that sound down because
Okay, here we go.
oh, I see. Oh, there we are. I'm not sure which one I should turn down, this one or this one.
Okay,
Okay.
turn down the other one because we'll get confused where we are. Hey, Blind Nil, how you doing, darling? I'm so happy to see you tonight. I'm so happy to see you. We're all here. Let me see if I can pull this on down. Unfortunately, I didn't get to Lawrence's and Herman's live stream. And I know Paul's over there. Hey, Distorted PV. Look who we got. You know, I've been trying to get this girl for about a year now. And I finally got her on.
How to do things.
And I'm very privileged. I feel very privileged because I know you don't do a lot of this per se. I feel so privileged that you did this with me. And we're about the same age, and you're very active.
I'm older, so you be nice to me.
Well, you're very active. I'm not. I'm just starting to take walks and stuff and getting ready to start running again because winter's coming, and I do better in the winter when I'm running. But you know, I'm afraid of the ice. I've run in the snow all my life.
Get some yak tracks. Yak tracks, yak tracks, they're little spirals. You stick them on the bottom of your shoes and they dig into the ice.
Can you run with those?
Yeah.
Where do you get those?
Usually at a sporting goods shop, you know, like, I don't know, do you have Dick's there? Or REI or someplace like that?
I'm sorry. I didn't know what you were saying. I got a little lost. I'm sorry. I worked a lot today. I'm just saying, and this whole week. So never put that in as a search, by the way. I did that once. It was very horrible. I was like, what's going?
One time I put in a search. It was when I was a children's pastor. And I was doing a whole VBS on a theme of like a Candyland thing. And I put candy in and this stripper came up. So even something as innocuous.
As innocuous as that, you're getting a little some extra. Yeah, and being women, we're just like, yeah, I don't know what happened here. So guys, I'm going to be talking with Destination. I think Paul might come in. Maybe he'll be in the chat later, but I think he'll come in and be chatting in the chat and stuff like that. But Kim's going to be watching the chat for me and kind of saying hi to everyone and welcome to Val's Life and that kind of thing. Right, Kim? Like Paul did? Paul, okay. Paul is a #1 moderator, Destination. He is the #1 moderator.
He's not going to bring his doll in, is he?
No, he's not coming in here until after. But
that doll creeps me out.
But which one? The Manamanas or the?
No, the Manamanas are fine. It's the
therapy doll.
The therapy doll.
Damn thing. I love it. I just love that therapy doll. I do not know why. I looked it up because I wanted to get one because it's so nice. Everything's gonna be all right.
Everything's
going to like all right. I need it now because nothing seems all right now. But in my personal life, we're fine. So anyway, Kim, if you could just do that for me, and then he'll let me know if he needs to, if I need to do anything within this chat. Are you in live chat, Michelle?
I have it over here on my computer. I can kind of see it. That's why I put my glasses back on because everything was blurry. So I can kind of see it. Hi, Dave. How are you? There's Blind Neil and Furball and Distorted.
So if you say something in the chat, they will know your channel more.
Okay.
So just every once in a while, say hi, everyone. And so that keeps them being able to go see some of the things I'm going to be talking about. So I want to tell you, hey, Stevie from the Bronx. Oh my God, I love Stevie from the Bronx. And I'm hoping Louis P's coming in tonight. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys, I don't always comment, but I watch a lot of your stuff. And oh, he's saying, give us a link to your channel. So Kim, can you get Destination Chronicles link, or she can get it? Because let me tell you, I watch these shows, and I watch Stevie from the Bronx, and I watch Louis P, and I watch all the guys in here. And I don't always comment because I'll put them on a rolling thing. So while I'm doing a bunch of stuff around the house, I'm watching. And some of these guys, I mean, they shoot some hot stuff. I mean, I swear, I was watching the other day Louis P doing some of his stuff. I thought, oh my God.
I don't remember who it was, but a few days ago, no, I guess it was a long time ago. Somebody was flying their drone through their legs, and I'm like, not me.
I gotta tell you, Helicopter does that. Now, if you watch like Stevie from the Bronx, you're gonna get a whole bunch of different stuff, right? I get stuff with police in it. I get stuff with skunks. I get stuff with flying. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And then Michelle, when I'm turning on your channel, what I love is I love all the different places you manage to go, and they're not far away places.
No.
They're places within your realm, and you always have something to say, and you sound like a tour guide. You sound like someone who you'd watch before you went to a place.
A lot of times I've done a lot of looking up before I go to a place. This current series at the coast, I didn't. And I had to come back and look up stuff. And of course we missed things, but there's a big fire. It was foggy, there was smoke. And what happened was we were supposed to go to Yosemite, but we couldn't get in because you had to have reservations. So I went through and I okay, we're going to Mammoth, and I got campsites at different places because we were traveling through, and I got that all, you know, paid for and taken care of. And then like 24 hours before we're supposed to go, there was a big fire and they shut it all down. And so it's like, we have, you know, my husband has time off from work. Okay, we're going to the coast, but I had no idea what I was doing. So I had to come back later and then do my research and figure out what I was going to talk about.
I thought it was great, but I didn't want to bring up, I have some concerns about your show. I seem to always see wine and beer. Now, I just surprised. I'm thinking maybe you like the drink.
I like to have a little time to time. Well, a lot of the places that we go have, you know, well, especially when we did the one in Carson City, and then there were a couple of they have breweries there, and so you include that in there. So you have to have a flight of beer, or if you go to a wine tasting place, I mean, you have to have that glass of wine, right?
Right. You got to taste.
Gotta taste.
I just thought that was so funny. I was watching the last one. I thought, oh, there's not going to be any. There's not, and all of a sudden, so we came here. We got a flight of beer, and I thought, there it is.
And the one that I videotaped just a few days ago, there's a flight of beer. But there was gummy worm beer. I had to try the gummy worm beer.
Ew. Okay. Hold on. Ew. Gummy worm beer.
Yeah, it mildly tasted like gummy worm. It wasn't as horrible as it sounds, but it really wasn't that great either. But I had the stout afterwards. I like dark beer. I had the stout afterwards to wash that flavor out.
My son teases me because I if I'm gonna have a beer, I have very light, and I'm more likely to drink, you know, Corona Light or something like that. And he likes this dark, thick, kind of, yeah. He loves it, but I don't.
Ever had chocolate beer?
I have not.
Oh, it might be a little bit, well, depending on the brand you get, because I bought a brand not too long ago and it was syrupy and I didn't care for it. But if you get a more expensive brand of
Thank you.
chocolate bear, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So distorted. I can't imagine my life sucking so bad that I feel the need to go into a live stream just before it starts and leave the thoughts down. You know what? Everyone's welcome, right? You take the high
It's
with the very
engagement.
low.
A thumbs down's engagement. It
Yeah,
counts.
yeah,
Engagement.
they came
People
in.
who do
They
that
came
don't
in.
realize it's good. It's a good thing.
So I think if people have been to your channel, they understand a few things about you. You are in your 60s, if you don't mind me saying.
Mhm.
You do not look like that at all.
Well,
I mean,
do you
darling,
remember
you look
picture of
40.
Dorian
You do
Gray?
not look. Huh?
Remember the picture, the movie, Dorian Gray, where
Yeah.
there's a picture up in the attic and it's getting old, and that's what I did. No.
Yeah, because I'm gonna say that I've looked at your channels, and when you told me your age, I didn't believe it. And do you find there's what is your magic to that? Because that is not happening with me.
Okay, it's good genetics. I got my dad's bone structure, which is strong, and my mom's skin. And her skin, it wasn't, she was well into her 80s, mid to older 80s, before she started showing any age. And that was because she was on dialysis because her kidneys were failing. But before that, her skin, no wrinkles or anything. So I really lucked out. I got his bone structure and her skin. And yeah, I really don't take any credit for it.
Oh, well, I think you should, but you're also extremely active.
Yeah. Except during COVID, I've been kind of laying about, but yeah.
Okay, so you've been lazy during COVID. So let's talk about your laziness. How many trips have you done since March?
Oh, well, trips.
No, just going and seeing things so you can make videos and going to
Okay,
town.
so last week I did two that were off the cuff. There are so many places around here that, because we're in the mountains and we're just as the crow flies, not very far from Yosemite. There, the northern half of Yosemite is in our county. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of places to do around here. But I did stay in because I have asthma. And so when it first started, I just kind of kicked back and waited to see what was going to happen. But I can do things like I took my granddaughter on Tuesday, and we went up to one of the campgrounds, and it's a great fishing area. In fact, it's some of the best fly fishing in Northern California. And so we just did a little thing there. There's a trail, and I have a book on all the trails in my county. So I can always hop into one of those, but I don't want it to become all about just hiking trails. But we did the campground there and the trails. So there's stuff like that. There are all sorts of little towns here that my husband claims I make far more interesting than they actually are. But when you know a history about a place and you convey the history, you're not just, walking through the town. So I did one on this week, and it won't be aired for another few weeks because I have some more of the coastal ones coming up. But so there are all sorts of things that I try to inject that I can just hop to. And COVID kind of put a stop to that because there are all sorts of places around here I wanted to get to, but I'll get to them next year. So actual trips, well, we did the coast trip. And then we did a trip up to Carson City, and we did Genoa City. I didn't do a whole lot of filming that time. But yeah, it's because there's so much around here, down the hill from where I live, which is the Sonora area, there are gold mining towns. Highway 49 goes through there. So there's all sorts of historical gold rush places. And then up the hill, there's places, for hiking and camping and whitewater rafting, which I haven't done because I'm like trying to figure out, I think I need a GoPro instead of my, camera.
Right.
I have done whitewater rafting, but it's like things fall in the water. So,
but every time I watch yours, you are kayaking. You're out at the No Tell 'em Lake. with the kids,
Uh-huh.
and the husband. So is your husband as active as you are?
Oh, he's more active. Um, a, a while back, about 10 years ago, and he wasn't heavy. He just, it was a man in his, 50s. And we went I wanted to cancel one life insurance policy and bring up another one. And they did the blood test and everything. Oh, well, he's not even trying to manage his diabetes. And we're like, well, we didn't know he had diabetes. And I mean, it was way up, normals.
Yeah.
So he runs 6-7 miles 3 or 4 times a week. And so yeah, and he's got it down to where his blood sugar, which was like way up, you can't even discern that he has diabetes. Now, you don't get rid of diabetes if he were to stop doing what he's doing and watching his diet. It would come back, but he has better blood sugar than most people who don't have diabetes. So yeah, he's very active, and he's a musician, so that's a different type of active, but it keeps him going.
So what does he play?
He plays saxophone.
Oh, nice.
So you can find his music at Vince Pryshuk, San Pablo Avenue, and another one is at Die Musica, DYEMU Musica, DYE Musica. So I have to see something when I'm spelling. So
right.
Music that way.
Oh, nice. Hey, Enterprise, good evening. And this is Destination Chronicles on my stream. I want to say hello to a couple people before we keep going. So Red Dog came in. Hey, Red Dog, Roadshow, Furballs in the house. We have Stevie from the Bronx, Capture Life Connections. Dave, Ennis, thank you for coming in. Let's see. We have Blind Nil, Distorted. I'm going to go up a little bit and see if I'm missing anyone. And so if you want your name or you want your link put up in the chat, just make sure Kim knows and he can put it in there for you, okay? So you were skiing and teaching skiing.
Mm-hmm.
You've been doing that for how long?
I'm starting my 11th year. I didn't start until I was in my 50s. I mean, I was skiing before then, but I didn't start teaching until I was in my 50s.
So what made you decide? Yeah, go ahead.
My sister, I was one of her caregivers when she had brain cancer, and when she passed, I just wanted to try something completely different, and that's when I thought, okay, I'm going to go teach skiing. So that's
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And so that's what you're doing now.
That's what I'm doing now.
Until we ended up with COVID, you were up there how many times a week? You were up there almost to the point where you weren't even vlogging that much. You were so much.
No, and it's hard to vlog in the winter if I did do a whole series on the Highway 4 corridor, which is that county. I was for like 9.5, 10 years teaching skiing at Dodge Ridge, which is in my county. But my best friend was put in charge of the children's program over at Bear, and she kept begging me. So in January, I made the flip and I went up there. So I went from being full-time, which is 5 days a week, to semi-full, which was 4 days a week. But I would go over there on Thursday morning, and they have like dorm type situations, and I'd stay 3 nights a week, and then I'd come back on Sunday. Wow. And so, yeah, in the winter, I can only really put out about every other week. So
Blind Nell said his daughter looked over his shoulder and said, you only look like you're in your 30s.
Well, yeah, I've got the lighting really soft in here right now. If you notice, my camping ones, I look horrific because it's I've been
No, you
camping
don't.
4 days and sleeping in the van. Oh, you wait till the one where we're driving home. We go through the big trees and then we go into the wine country, and my hair's all.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, you tell your daughter we said thank you for that. So, yeah. So, let me ask you a little more about that. So, you're skiing.
Uh-huh.
Do you end up getting sore like you never did before, or do you feel just always good about?
The first couple of weeks are hard. Just, and it doesn't matter how much you exercise. I've got like that you can do a exercise thing, and I walk up and down the stairs, but it's not the same muscle. So it doesn't matter how much you prepare. The first couple of weeks are just gonna hurt. However,
Yeah.
my new job over at Bear, I'm not teaching as much. I'm uh what would have been called a supervisor at my old place is called a lead here. And so I'm a lead, and also I train the new instructors how to teach children. So I'm a trainer. So it's not as like much bending down and picking kids up as my other job. I do still teach, but I have other things that I'm doing. So it's more of an ease into it rather than just, okay, pal, you've got 12 kids, there you go. And this year's going to be different too, because, with COVID, we have to change our policies and stuff.
And change everything.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking that by the time skiing season comes up again, they're going to be people just chomping at the bit to get back to the mountains and
Yeah.
get back to that exercise.
We closed down March 15th, but there were parents coming in and dropping their kids off that were coughing and hacking and sneezing. And we, started hearing about the COVID thing. It's like, I'm sorry, this kid can't come in here. And we used to have this basket of gloves that kids had forgotten. And parents would go, oh, I forgot their gloves. Can they use that? And at one point, I just took the whole thing and hid them because some of the teachers were still grabbing them. And I had a parent go, well, we forgot our gloves. And usually they let us have gloves. And I said, you've heard about this COVID thing, right? Now, what if the kid who had it before does this, which they're always doing?
Well, the kids, right?
Other kids do this with the gloves. They're like, oh, I'll go buy my own gloves. I said, I think you should.
Is that a problem? I think it's so funny because when you're talking about, I think adults do the same thing. I've been seeing you don't notice it until you notice it, what people do, right?
Yeah.
You don't notice till you notice. And I had someone working out on my electrical, and he kept going with his hands and would shake my hand. I'm like, oh, COVID, elbow. I mean, I just thought, let's just start this policy, because I wish this policy was always in, because I'm a little bit of a germ freak. Don't wipe your hands. No. So now I have to ask you a question, because you're a gal around my age. Do you, all this Karen stuff that comes out, have you seen any of that?
I have.
What do you think?
I work with the public, and so, and I've seen Karen stuff. I don't know that it's stuff that would be viral, but yeah, I've seen some Karen.
And I'm going to say, just a couple days ago, Destination, I'll just call you Michelle. This is Michelle, by the way. I was coming back from my friend's house, the one who had breast cancer, right? And it looks like she's all in good stand, She's got good genes too. All her hair gone, but just a teeny little bit, and she looks marvelous. But anyway, I'm coming back, and I have Kim on Zoom, but I'm not looking at him. It's just so he can see me. That sounds so ignorant, but so he can see me, and I'm driving down the road, and he said, and I was in an area where there's been some gang activity and stuff like that. And I said, well, I'd rather go through the town where I'm at instead of the highway, because there's a lot of road construction, a lot of going on. And he goes, okay, well, just, stay out of trouble. I'm like, it's me. I'm never getting in trouble. I'm driving. I'm singing my just little song, la, 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 just not paying attention, doing speed limit everyone else is doing, but 10 miles under the speed limit. Mm-hmm. I get a big old truck behind me. He pulls up, and Kim heard the whole thing. The guy unrolls his window, sticks his head out the window, jumping up and down, calling me 4 choice words. One that starts with a C, one that starts with a B, one that starts with an F. And what was the other one? The A word. Okay, so you had all those going. And all of a sudden I thought, I found me a Darren. You know how I never see them? And all of a sudden I start laughing and start waving because it's like I saw a monkey and I've never seen one. Darren, there you are, Darren. Oh, I see a Darren. And I start laughing. I'm pointing, hey, Darren, because I've been wanting to get a viral video. Okay, I don't touch my phone. I don't record it. I am so excited to see a Darren in the wild.
A Darren in the wild.
He got kind of upset and he shot out away from me. And the words just stopped and I'm like, but Darren. And then I'm looking at Kim.
Rolling on you yet.
Kim's like, what the hell? What the hell, Valerie? And I was like, oh man, I got so excited I didn't even try to film. But I saw Darren. I mean, it was kind of cool.
I've seen a few of those too, yeah.
Yeah, and I could have called him Karen, but I just didn't think about it. And I thought, well, if you're cussing out at somebody's, he was probably 20-something. If you're cursing out at a woman who's 60, could be your grandmama, well, not quite, but close, then I think that it's that's not good. So you must be a Darren. But I didn't tape him. I was miserable after. I was like,
yeah, I've had to deal with a few Darrens in the wild. Parents of kids that,
Yeah.
Some of these parents just think that, their kid can do whatever they want. You can't tell my kid what to do. Yeah.
Right.
Find a paper that says I can.
Yeah. I've noticed it's gotten a little bit crazy around that, but it's been going that way for a very long time. I used to work with kids in juvenile courts, and the parents always had these wonderful excuses. And it's like, you know what? You can do those excuses, but when they're adults in trouble, it won't matter what you're saying.
Yeah.
So stop now and just let him be accountable and let him learn this, and let him and I talk. We don't need all this other stuff. But anyway, I was kind of cool. Nope, don't count. You took too long to answer. I've moved on. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Got to put out a new vid soon, fam. Sorry, my grandson for me. Been 2 months again. Sorry. Kim and I watched your last one together, Red Dog. It was a good vid. So, but anyway, yeah. So I found a Darren in the wild. I was pretty upset after I realized I didn't. And I was telling Kim, it was a Darren. And I was talking to my son about it, and he goes, Mom, I'm just glad you're safe. And I go, what would I be? It was just a Darren.
Up there in Idaho, girl. You got to be careful. You've got gun carriers up there.
I know. And that guy could have been one. So I don't know. Kim, what did you think of that? The Darren. He's just talking off on other stuff. You know him. But when you're out traveling, I'm messing with Kim Val. Are you proud of me? I'm always proud of you, Red Dog. So when you're traveling about, do you find things like that going out where you're traveling, or is everyone just kind of?
You know what? When I'm traveling, I'm not looking for stuff. Oh yeah, we've had a few little weird things, but nothing like that when we were traveling so much. Although I do remember, and this was before I was ever filming, a family in Disneyland, and they're all scrabbling and cranky and stuff like that. And the father's all, "We're here to have fun, damn it." You're like, oh, that doesn't sound like fun.
That always reminds me.
Yeah.
That always reminds me when hey Sean, it always reminds me of that American Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that always does, because isn't that the thing? People hustle to get down there, they break their back, they only got so much time, it's so darn expensive. And then you get your kids in and they're hot and they're miserable and they're hungry and they want the Mickey Mouse ears. You're just like, really? Really?
Here's what we always did with our kids, our foster kids, and now our grandkids. We get up, we go for rope drop. That's the very beginning where they let you in. And it's real easy. I mean, there's not as many people there. So you go to all of the big rides that you really want to go to. Well, come about 12:30 or 1, it starts getting hot. And that's when the park is the most crowded, is between like 12 and 5. So that we go back to the hotel, and I've always got a ice chest full of, salami and rolls and, juice boxes and stuff. We eat something, we go swimming, and the kids nap. And then we go back at about 4:30 or 5, and then we do the evening. And that makes all the difference in the world. And so many people don't want to give up that time in the middle of the day, but you're only going to get on about 2 rides anyway, because the lines are like forever.
Right. That's right. That's right.
It's about apportioning what part of the day is going to be the most fun.
Yeah, I think that is just the truth. So have you always been traveling a lot with the kids and all that?
Yes, with my own kids, with my foster kids. When my kids were younger, we did a lot of volunteer work in Mexico. So I always say that my kids learned how to cook in a Mexican prison, because they did. I'd stick them in the kitchen with the cooks while I was doing the volunteer work. And then my husband would be laying floors at drug rehabs and churches and places, orphanages and stuff. So, so we would go down 4 times a year down to Mexico. And my kids were homeschooled at that point. So it didn't affect, their schooling at all. But so we did a lot of traveling with them. And because of that, they got to, most kids in California in the 4th grade, you're supposed to go through California history and do all of the missions. And every school goes to 1 mission. Well, my kids got to go to about 6 missions, because as we were on our way to stop and go do all the missions and stuff. I hadn't planned on it, but I've always been a huge fan of the Winter Olympics. And all of a sudden they were talking about all these people in Salt Lake City had blocked out tickets and hotel rooms, and they were releasing them the second week. So I got online, got tickets, got a hotel room, piled the kids in the car. Within 2 days, we were at the Olympics.
Oh,
so
wow.
Homeschooling allowed me to do stuff. And I think that all of that's just as much a part of social studies and your schooling as, your reading, writing, and arithmetic. So, yeah.
Did you homeschool all your children?
Both the girls, I didn't homeschool any of the foster kids. But the girls, I was teaching at the time. I was teaching high school and junior high drama. And my youngest, who we adopted her from foster care, had some learning disabilities, but she wasn't, it wasn't like horrible. It was just, she has a way to learn, and in a classroom it wasn't working. And she was like in the 1st grade, and the teacher is telling me in November, oh, she's not going to make it to the 3rd grade this year. And I'm going, you can tell me this after like 2 months of school? So the end of my school's semester was at Christmas break, and I took a leave of absence, and I got her actually past it, but she learns one-on-one. Well, and then I never went back. I resigned. Okay, I'm going to take care of my kids right now. And then my oldest was jealous. So she didn't need to be homeschooled, but she wanted to be homeschooled. And we did it through a charter school. And so they had funds for us to, they got to take gymnastics, they got an outside art class. So, you know, we ran around and did all those things. So that's how we got into it. Then when they got to be about sophomores in high school, I put them back into school because I don't do math. I mean, I do like bookkeeping math. I do like pluses, minuses, all that. But when you start getting into calculus and stuff, I'm sorry, we didn't do that when I was in high school. Back to school with you.
Back to school. I'm seeing it necessary. Socialization really back. You know, I had to teach my oldest some algebra because he wasn't paying attention in school. And I said, okay, well, now I'm going to teach you. But I was in college taking all the math stuff. So it's just reiterating everything I was doing anyway. So it made it that way. But I told him anymore, and I will have you home and we'll be teaching you everything. Boy, that made that child study. He was like, oh my God. No. I'm going back to school. Off I go.
So when the COVID thing happened and the schools didn't open up, everyone else is freaking out. How am I going to do this? And my daughter goes, I've got this. I did this all my childhood.
That's right. That's right. And I notice that some parents, you know, we work so hard to be able to support our kids and to move forward that when all that's gone, you know, I put a song in my first video I was doing on flying just recently with the Mavic Air 2, which talked about, I don't know what's happening, you know, but everything was gone in a blink of an eye. And I thought that was so apropos of what is happening right now within our world. We're leaving in a blink of an eye. It's just the truth of it. Um,
Do it, go ahead and homeschool. It's actually quite a blessing. Yeah.
So yeah, I told everyone, you know, that is what happened. Everything was gone in blink of an eye, and now we're in a new phase. And I always told kids I worked with, life changes on a dime. You're in this space one day, you may be in a different space, and you don't know what it is the next day. You just cannot ever say everything will stay the same forever, because it won't. But I did not mean this change. I mean, I got me a boyfriend, Michelle.
You do?
And they closed the border.
I know.
I think that hell froze over. I said, I won't have one until hell freezes over. Hell froze over. There we go. And I'm like, okay, life turns on a dime again. Uh-huh. So you had to reconstruct your world a little bit.
Uh-huh.
When this happened.
Yeah.
How did your life change?
You're talking about the COVID thing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I finally got to a mountain. The mountain that I was at doesn't make its own snow there because it's got two water runoffs, and so they're having a problem getting the county and the water districts to let them make snow. My new mountain makes snow, so it's always got. And it's also at a higher elevation. The weekend that we had to close, we got about 6 feet of snow that weekend. And it just killed me. It's like we could have stayed open. We were slated to stay open for quite a while longer. And so here it is, perfect snow, absolutely beautiful snow. And nope. So yeah, it was like, and then California shut down completely. I mean, no business. So we stayed home, and Amazon became my friend. I'd never really done anything with Amazon, but I started purchasing things and, you know, developing new interests and new hobbies. But California opened up a little bit, but then everybody just went hog wild, like it's all over. And we started spiking again. So it's like we've gone from not open at all to somewhat open to only partially open to now restaurants are open, but still a lot of things aren't. And so a lot of the things that I would have filmed, there's this one town it's about 45 minutes away, and it's in Calaveras County. It's called Angels Camp. I wanted to do it, but there's this killer museum there, and it's not open. Museums aren't open.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you've heard of the Frog Jump of Calaveras County by Mark Twain? That's where the Frog Jump is. And so I have all of this stuff that, it's like I had all of this list of different places I was going to go. And really, for a good portion of the beginning of the summer, I couldn't have gone anywhere. So what I did was I went back to my old channel, the Grandma Chronicles, from when my grandkids lived here. And I kind of scavenged some of those videos and reworked them so that I could just.
Oh,
So
good idea.
yeah, I had something to put up that way. So a few of the Disneyland are from like 2 years ago videos. So that was stuff that just we had already done, and I just took it and reworked it. Now you can keep it too much the same, or you get flagged for. And I'm not quite sure how much you have to change, but I changed them up completely, so they're completely different videos.
Right.
And that's my old channel anyway. So there's a fly in here.
It's funny because I wasn't sure what people were going to do with their videos once it closed down. But one of the nice things about FPV is you can go out, be by yourself.
Yeah.
But there was a time they wouldn't even let you in the parks. They wouldn't let you anywhere here.
Yeah, so, it put a real halt on a lot of things. And Gil Skills, Gil, Bob Gill. Yeah, he's like, you got to rethink it. You got to rethink it. So I did do a few things, like cooking for a kayak camping trip, or what do I use when I'm kayak camping and stuff like that. But yeah, it's so I did come up with a few things that I could do. I did scavenge a bunch of film off of my old channel.
I think that's fine, because there's going to be a time when everything reopens. And people are going to be hot to be going places and doing things. I know Tim and I had talked. He has a place which he would love to go to in North Carolina. And I said, I'm going to try to get out there. And then we have all this stuff happening. And I'm like, how in the world would that ever work out? And, there are so many things I want to do.
Well, and you know what? I was supposed to come by and see you at the beginning of the summer, because the lead singer and guitar player from Vince's old band Die Musica lives up at Bonners Ferry, and we were supposed to go up there, and he had several flooring jobs. My husband's a flooring contractor, and so it would be like a working vacation, but then they were also going to go in the studio and work on some music, and we were going to stop and see you, and it, nope, everything shut down. And it was a couple of older people, and they're like, well, we'll wait for a year, so
and that's my dad. I want to go see him. He's like 85, and I just think I need to go see him, but I can't because he's not seeing anybody.
Yeah,
because they have enough stuff going, right?
Yeah, my husband's parents, they've been here once. Vince was playing music in the park at an event there, and they came out with their chairs and they sat like 7 million miles away from everybody else, and that was the only time all summer they came out and did anything, so they all got 5 minutes,
Yeah, my dad told me he went to a store. He had to go to return something, and it was 30 minutes away from his house, and he says, Peggy and I had a fun time on our travels. So now that 20-minute trip is their travels. Hey, Mr. Doughboy, let me go say hi to everyone really quick. We got Mr. Doughboy, Manamana, Purple, TC, and Plummet. Hey, Plummet, I just saw that last one you did on your Facebook. So good, so good. Yeah, you're just such a good flyer, Plummet. We got Stevie from the Bronx still here. E Enterprise. These are all people I think Michelle.
Yeah.
This is her other name is Destination Chronicles, Washington County News. Hey, I've been watching stuff's cooking down there in Utah right now. Let's see, a lot of people, Mr. Crowley. So hi to everyone. If I missed anyone, like Distorted, Not Intentional, but we are talking to Michelle. And I don't know how you guys feel like a bunch of girls talk, but that's what I got going because there are things I need to know. Oh my God. So you are so welcome, Plummet. I love his flying. But there's I noticed as all this stuff is going around that your channel did take a little bit of a turn, a little bit more stuff in it. And I thought it was all for the good. I mean, the things that I saw, I like how you said the the smoke was fog. Look at the fog, I'm rolling in. Look at the fog.
It was fun too. Yeah, it was pretty bad that first day.
Laughing myself to almost to the point I couldn't breathe because I was like, I was running around my house. Look at the fog. But that was good.
It was on the coast. It wasn't nearly as bad as it was here. When we went over to the coast, get over there for 5 days, I forgot how bad it was here, and I got back here. There's a hill in front of our house, and it's about a block and a half away, and I could not see the hill. That's how bad the smoke was here. So I got over there, and most of the time it was blowing out, and it was just the fog, except for that first day. And then I got back over here, and I'm like, going, oh, I forgot how bad it was over
here. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I looked outside. Y'all had sent your smoke to us. Oh, thank you, by the way. And I couldn't see my mountains for a month. No mountains. I was like, this is the oddest thing. But I'll tell you, that's when I thought everyone started acting a little crazy, Michelle, is when they weren't getting the sun.
Yeah. Okay, here, I'm going to show you this hill.
Okay.
That's the hill I couldn't see. I could just barely see those trees that are in front of the house.
So you're really out in the the rural area.
Yeah, very, very rural. Here, I don't know if I can, how does that look? Yeah, we're very rural. We're a mountain.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we all want to get out. We all want to do the things we want to do, right? We all want it, and yet we got to be wise. And I don't want to be wise. I want to be just like everyone else. I want to get out there. I want to go where I want to go, do what I want to do, see what I want to see. But I have people dependent on me, and they don't want me to just be like, and I have too much underlying conditions to really be out there. So here I am most of the time, and I'm really careful, but that's what I want to be.
That's me. I'm mostly here in the house. Just
okay. We got like 12 minutes left, and I got to learn about what you're going to be doing with that van. Okay. I have to know.
Okay, so when it gets time for my husband to retire, we're either going to trick out this van or we're going to get one of the tall vans. It all depends on finances at the time. But his van is only a couple of years old. And it's got an inverter, so it's already got an inverter. So that means you can plug things in directly to the van. But I've also got a Goal Zero. It's a little 200 lithium. We use that when we're camping right now. I'm going to get a much bigger one. We're going to trick out that we're going to put a bed and a small kitchen and a little seating area, and we're just going to travel around. Now, I don't want to be one of the people who I'm a lifetime, van life person where I do it all the time. We will have home base here in the county. I plan on selling this house because I don't need 4 bedrooms, and getting a smaller one, so we'll get a smaller house. And I want one that I don't have to go up like 28 stairs to get to the front door, because I mean, as you get older, my mom, it was like there were 4 stairs to get up to her house, and we had to put a ramp in. It's like, I can't put a ramp in when there's 28 stairs. So
you just don't want to be at the top or the bottom coming out. Right.
Yeah. So we'll sell this house. We'll get a smaller house. And then we'll have a home base, but then we can travel around and just, do, different places and see different things, you know. So that I have 2 different layout plans. If we get the tall ones, like a Sprinter or something, I have one layout for that. And if we keep this van, which is a cargo van, it's the low ceiling, I have another plan for that because you have different needs. I do want a composting toilet that will have a like little bench that goes over it that flips up so that you can use the toilet. Because I'm old and in the middle of the night I have to go pee, and you may not have a bathroom somewhere where you're at, you know. So so we'll do that, and I'll have a
Somebody
domatic.
said all I heard was lots of house to fly a whoop, LOL.
Lots of house.
Yeah, your house. There's lots of house to fly a whoop. That's the truth. So the only thing I don't like about the composting toilet, but I feel the same. I don't want to travel, and I've been looking at those little teardrops. I can't afford one, but I've been looking at those because I thought I don't mind having a little something where I can go back and go to bed and
Yeah.
maybe get up and throw the back up and cook something to eat. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But the bathroom thing, yeah, I need to have that handled.
When I was young, I used to do hardcore camping, and I still do when we kayak camp, but I've got tricks.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my favorite places, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. And the only way you can get to it, it's almost like it's an island, but it's not. It's a little area that, you know, in order to walk there, you have to go through like 10 bazillion acres of poison oak, so nobody walks there. And a bunch of different people have added things. There's a big old picnic table that's chained to a tree, but it's not an actual campsite. Somebody brought one of those big Weber barbecues, chained it to a tree. And then if you climb the hill, there are 2 rocks and a board with a hole in it and a toilet seat on it. So in the middle of the night, we have someplace to go to the bathroom, even though we're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can hear it now. Yeah, we're going to build this. Well, I don't want to build. We're going to build this. So you're going to have a composting toilet. Are you going to put a whole kitchen in there?
Yeah. Well, what I'll do, I don't want the full built out kitchen where you've got all this stuff. I'll use my my camping stove, because then if you're, you know, camping at a campsite, you can take it outside, you can cook outside, or you can move it around. I'll get a Dometic fridge. Right now we have it's a Coleman electric ice chest, but it actually draws more power, I think, than the Dometic fridge, because it's on all the time. A Dometic fridge goes off and on, it gets below a certain thing, but the ice chest is on all the time. And so what would happen is I have it plugged into my little Goal Zero power station, which will go for 6 hours on that ice chest. But, you know, early in the morning, it's run out of power. And so, you know, but it kept everything really cool. So, but I want a Dometic fridge. And then I want we're going for a queen size width bed, but I'm going to cut it off at about 5 foot. So, I mean, not 5 foot, 6 feet.
What is a whip bed?
A what?
You said a queen size whip?
Width, wide.
Width. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whip
So
bed.
it'll be queen size wide. It'll be 6 feet. My husband and I are both 5'10". So inches to, you know, fool around with. But yeah, it's like I said, I've got 2 different designs. But as for a sink, I want a deep enough sink that I can wash my hair, because I'm old now and I like to wash my hair. When I was young, I just go pour a bucket of water over my head, but that's
yeah. Those days are getting slimmer and slimmer, because I used to just put my head in a cold creek in the mountains where you'd freeze your head and it'd be like brain freeze, and just wash my hair, because we just keep going, you know, because when you're camping and you're kind of roughing it, that is the way. But you know what? I like comfort now. I don't want to sleep on the hard ground. It's lost its enthusiasm. Probably always has been lost.
Well, the way we have the van set up now is I've got like a thick egg crate, and I have it in a duvet, because nothing's worse than these egg crates that after you've camped on them a few times, they're all filthy dirty. So I could take
Yeah.
the duvet off, and we just sleep on that with another. We've got a couple of pads in there right now, because it's still his work van, but
right. I think I think you guys are going to have a blast. I know I've talked to people a lot about what they use for camping when they go out. And I thought my camping days were over, really. And I didn't want an RV, because why take my house with me? I want a vacation. I don't want everything coming. But I got to tell you, the smaller conversion vans, the teardrop things, the things that, you just can go in and stop and just sleep.
And you don't have to set up a tent. And all your stuff stays in there. You don't have to pull it out, and so
you have a bed, unless somebody unhooks it and then puts it onto their truck. It seems like we're moving, Fred.
Do the whole chain thing around
But I just
thought that's a teardrop, and they have this. It's so lightweight that even with people in it, they can just pull it and stuff. So no, they have this chain, and it chains to the back of the car.
Yeah, and I was thinking just like a Yeti cooler or something that keeps ice for a long time, something simple. Hey, Michael Banny, haven't seen Rad Girl in a while. Hey, you guys.
Hi,
Michael. That's what I was thinking, something that makes a little more sense, that goes long time. And I know Kevin has his brother's van. I told him, take the back seat out. I could really trick it out. And then I saw the work that really goes into it, and I thought I could make such a mess of this.
You know what, though? I've seen okay, there's the guy, what's his name? Cheap RVing, or cheap something. I'll send you the thing. But he has showed a bunch of people who've just taken a van and put an actual twin size bed in it, and then put a shelf on the other side and just connected it. It's not like everybody has to have this huge, workstation and everything. Some people just, they put a bed in, they put a shelf or a chest of drawers. I've seen it, and it's not that hard to connect the chest of drawers. They have these little L hooks that they connect.
Right.
So, it can be as complicated as you want, or it can be as easy as you want.
Yeah, I thought I have to have something, because I think I want to travel. I have some things on my bucket list. I want to travel and stop places, but the days of staying in a hotel that everyone's been in, I'm not feeling as cool about that anymore. I've never been too cool about it. Okay, the
name of the guy his channel is Cheap RV Living.
Okay.
And he has a couple of channels. If you go back to his old stuff, it's a lot of how-to. Some of it's a lot of talk show now, but he looks kind of like Santa Claus, and he has all sorts of stuff on different people's what they've done and how they've done it on the cheap to build out their van.
See,
so
that's what I want.
Community of people.
But I think Kevin's van may get 9 miles to the gallon. I have to have something, and I keep saying I want something that gets about 30 miles to the gallon. And I'm being told that doesn't exist in a van, probably.
You can find something that gets 17. My husband's van gets 17. But we're going to keep everything light when we do it. The other thing is, a lot of people put a whole lot of hard wood in there, and that just weighs it down. And you know what Luan is? That's that bending board. That's what we're going to put up for the walls.
I think that's fine. It's so thin, right?
Yeah.
If you want to insulate, you can get styrofoam for that.
Yeah.
I've looked at a lot of different things they've been doing. Now, I will tell the guys, Kim knows now, because he saw me put something together. When I was putting just my camera outside, and he had a heart attack with how he was doing it. Because I'm just like, this is, just who cares? I don't care if it's tilted. What do I care?
You do work on your stuff with needle nose pliers,
Yeah, I do. And with butter knives. I mean, people, they either know me.
Butter knife.
it's, you know, I use what's at hand. I always tell people, oh, Michael Banny's saying hello to you. I do try to keep an eye, kind of one eye on the chat as we're talking, but I use the tools that are at hand. And that's probably, I have a whole set of wrenches, whole set of pliers, whole set of everything. And somewhere along my life, and they're gone. I know they're somewhere.
I'm a believer in duct tape. Now I have
Oh, I love duct tape.
stuff, but sometimes that's just what you need is duct tape. I had a whole bunch of kids. I had about 12 girls. I was taking them down into Ensenada, Mexico, and we were doing some volunteer work down there. And we had, it was a bus, you know, it was a smaller bus. It was a Mercedes bus. It had been an old airport bus. And it was older. And all of a sudden, you know, we stopped to go to the restroom and we get back in and it's got an electric door and the door won't shut. And it's like, I've got all these kids. We're at that point about an hour from Ensenada. So we were somewhere around Rosarita Beach or something. Yeah. So my bus driver, I can disconnect it so that we can open and close it, but it won't stay closed. It's going to go like this, you know. So yeah, I just got the duct tape out and I told all the kids they had to sit at least 2 rows back, and I duct taped the thing closed. I said, let's go. And so we got all the way into Ensenada. Nobody at the place that we were doing volunteer work knew anything about it, but we happened to be at a park at one point, and there was a man with the same bus, and we you know my Spanish is enough to get around stores and order food. Yep. So we told him what was wrong. He went and he fixed it, but because he doesn't speak English, he hooked it up so that when you want to open it, you have to hit the close button. And if you want to close it, but it worked. It worked.
And you have to say, thank you, God, it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you never know who the guy with the hammer is going to be, that angel, but you know, we'll take it. So let me ask you a question. I'm just curious. Do you think it's safe to still go down there and do the work? If it weren't for like Corona, let's just put that out of the way, to go down there and still work in those missions.
Yes, but you have to be savvy. You have to know where to be and where not to be. I mean, it's like if I were to go down to the Bay Area, there are places I wouldn't go in the Bay Area because it wouldn't be safe. But there are places that you can go. It's knowing what your environment is before you get there and where you can go and where you can't go. It's also knowing what your limitations are. You know, like I said, my husband has a really good well, no, I have more words in Spanish. He has better grammar. You know, so when we're together, we can formulate things, but if we're separate, it's like he's like, I don't know the word for this, and I'm like talking baby talk, like me go here, we go do this, you know. So, right. Knowing your limitations, and it's not putting yourself in harm's way. So there are a lot of people who travel all over Mexico all the time, and we would drive down and stuff, you know, in our own car and stuff. And the big thing is, get insurance at the border. Your American insurance doesn't count down there. And if you get in an accident, you go to jail until you can pay it. They don't.
So I'd be there a long time, as they say. I'd be there a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because my sister and brother-in-law would go down a lot, and I'd take my son when he was really small, and we go down to Tijuana and do all that stuff. And I've been cruising, and I go, you know, Puerto Vallarta and Cabo. And I remember my son said, one of my kids said, you know, hey, Corey Mano, he went down to Mazatlan. He was on a cruise, first one he'd ever taken. And he said, you know, Mazatlan, it was so sad because it was so poor. And you get out and you're surrounded by the federales or whatever they call them, with the guns and all the stuff, which we just don't have here when you get off a boat. Well, we're getting them, but you just didn't have that to just try to keep the people safe while you were going off. And then shortly after, they closed that. They closed Mazatlan because they were having trouble. And I just thought how sad, because it's just so nice to be going into places, that are different. It's really good to get an experience like that. So I never go to zip lining and all this stuff. I just go in the towns and meet people and talk and stuff. And I know no Spanish. Gracias. I'm like the people that come here, and I'm doing it. Gracias.
We tried to teach our
Gracias.
youngest daughter Spanish, and her one big word was manzana, which is apple. Like manzana, manzana, manzana. No, there's other words.
Like when I was in Germany, bitte, bitte. I didn't know. I knew nothing. I always try to find the word for excuse me, because I figure I'm going to do something wrong. Like, yeah, and it's just like, oh my God. But I love Mexico. I thought it was great, but I haven't gone.
Well, and there's also the issue of what time of the year you go at. If you're there at tourist time of the year, there are places that are perfectly all right. But during non-tourist time, a friend of ours had stayed in this one hotel, and we were doing something, and we weren't going to stay out at the ranch that we usually did. And so he said, "Oh no, it's a great hotel. Looked like a big pink castle. It was, and it was very tourist oriented, but it wasn't during the tourist time of the year. It was during Dia de los Muertos." And we go in there, and we're like, different vibe, totally different vibe. There's no tourist people. And we go down and we check out the little gift shop, which is fine. Then you go down these stairs into the bar, and everyone turned and looked at us, and it was hostile. And we checked out. Cut your losses and go. But that's part of being aware of your surroundings, not
That's
just
in Puerto Vallarta. They said, you want to stay right in the port and all that, and just don't go too far. And so the first thing I do is get on one of the little city bus things, and I'm like, yeah, take me in. I love being with people that I would think would be more or less like our people that are just downtown. They're not in the touristy area. You're just with the actual people going through their day. Now, he was smart enough not to take me as far down as where I could get myself killed. But I went and I found so many great stores, so many great places to be. And I really liked it. Of course, the friend with me was going Valerie.
And the real food, the good food is never in the zone. Never.
And they gave me a taco. Oh, it had meat and some onion. And I'm thinking, where's the lettuce? Where's the cheese? Where's the tomato?
It's goat cheese if you get it on there. Usually, if you're at a street stand or one of the places, there'll be a whole relish tray, and you'll be able to put the onions. Usually the onions are mixed in with the cilantro, and then there'll be different various peppers and stuff like that, and you get to load it on yourself.
Yeah.
Or the jalapeno and carrots that are pickled, that are hot.
Yes. They do the good stuff. When I was there, they did have avocado, and my friend said, "Do you have avocado?" And they go, "Of course." It was like, was this an insult here? They had the best avocado. Then we went someplace that was in the Caribbean, but it was not a thing of Mexico or an island of that like Cozumel or something like that. We were in the Caribbean, and she's like, "Oh, I'd like a big thing of avocado."
Yeah.
This is in Mexico.
The peninsula is completely and totally different. I've been to Chichen Itza and down to the Yucatan, and you go down there and the food is entirely different. It's very very Caribbean.
Well, one place I went had beans and white something, I forget what it was, and chicken. I don't even know what it was, but it's beans and rice with some meat, and I thought it was the best thing I'd ever had. And I go, so maybe I need to take you with me. I think a lot of restaurants would love you. And she goes, "Of course they love me, la la la," right? But I went back 2 years later, and she wasn't there anymore. I went right back to where she had been before, And I just thought, I just have never tasted something this delicious. Okay, no idea what it really was, but you know what? Sometimes it's best not to
No,
know.
no.
Hey, Shane, I just think sometimes you just go, it's good. Let me leave it at that. Oh, let me tell you about it. No, I'm good.
I don't want to know. So we
I
were
don't
in
want to know if I
Cancun.
ate donkey ass or, ate like squid parts. I don't want to know. I'm good. I'm good now.
Cancun, and everything, any cheese that you got was goat cheese, and it was really ripe goat cheese. I mean,
Ooh,
even at one point, my husband goes, "I just need something American." And there was a McDonald's there, but it was goat cheese. It was still, it wasn't
oh,
a goat
I
cheeseburger.
gotta tell you, I love goat cheese, but
So
I
the
gotta tell you,
but you
it
get
can't
a little
be the
tired at one point. So
can't be
without
the strong stuff.
we went to this one restaurant. I ordered lobster, and he ordered a pizza and didn't stop to think about it. And it comes and it was all goat cheese, and he was like,
See, I love goat cheese, depending on what kind it is. I got used to it, but I could see your poor husband just thinking, "Why does everyone hate me? Why does everyone hate
he
me?"
doesn't mind goat cheese, but after a whole week and whatever,
Oh.
it's like, oh man, what was I thinking? Can I have a bite of your lobster? And I went,
So places like Cancun and like that, they're very different
uh-huh.
than Mexico proper. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not even like you're in Mexico almost, are they?
No, no. Well, and if you go to the different regions, it's like the food in Mexico City is completely different than the food in Baja or along our borderlines. There's different types of food. So, it's really regional. Oh, well, if you think about it, if you're in San Francisco, you've got certain kinds of food, but if you're down in Alabama or maybe if you're up in Maine, all these different regional foods, we're a little more blended, but you've got different regions and foods.
See, I would love to watch some travel videos of you doing stuff on Mexico, even if it's the older stuff, if you have anything from that.
I
I'm gonna tell
I
you,
don't have any video from
I was
Mexico.
gonna vlog everything I did down in the islands and all the stuff in Cozumel and Cabo and all that stuff. And I end up being just so immersed in everything I'm doing. The last thing I think is I should snap a damn picture. I'm sorry. It's like when I saw that Darren. I got so excited. Darren in the wild.
So when you were in Cozumel, um, did you do the snorkeling, the Jacques Cousteau at that park?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's
You know
incredible.
what? There were so many things I didn't do because usually by the time I can afford, I don't know how many people understand how cruising works. You can get an
Oh,
inside room for a few $100s and you can go. And as long as you don't do anything, it's pretty cheap. So I've been to Cozumel a couple times and like to Belize, that whole thing. And
yeah.
the only time I went snorkeling is when I was in what was Honduras' little island out there, Roatan. And I love Roatan. I just loved it. The guy went out and he paddled out there, threw some fish food, and the amount of fish that came up through the reefs. It was so beautiful.
Do you know that reef between Cozumel and Belize is the second largest? It's second. It's only the only one larger is the
Yeah.
Great Barrier Reef.
Yes, I've heard that. And I'd like to go, but I had to have someone a little bit more adventurous than me to go. And I got to tell you, I don't always find that. I find people scuba dive, right? But very few people do I find just want to snorkel and go out a little further where it might be a little bit more stuff going on, right?
Yeah.
So I don't get a chance to do that. Um, but I would like to do that at some point. I'm looking at a cruise in about 3 years. Where I told Kim, get prepared. Because I think by then things should be cool. Oh, he
Yeah.
goes, I did snorkeling on shore from Cozumel. Sea turtles was a stop on the cruise, actually went twice. Oh, cool, Corey Mano. Cool. So if we go, I'm going to tell you. So you and your wife and baby Pickle. And at night, I will babysit baby Pickle for you so you guys can go have fun. I would love to watch baby Pickle. So I was going to say, I like the cruise and it's going to come back, but I like it because I can always go to the same hotel at night, the ship.
Yeah.
And if things look a little iffy with the food, I can always go back to the ship and eat. And normally, and I wash my hands all the time. I don't know what other people do, but I'll
Oh
go, ew, I see someone touch something and I saw them, I'll go wash my hands and then come back with a napkin or a glove on. I'm like, sorry,
yeah.
I'm not getting Nora from you today. No, no. I don't know how much people like me. Nice. I'll take you up on that. You do. You do. How dare they give Miss Valid thumbs down to Steve.
Only problem with the cruise thing is that you have to be back at a certain time, and I'd have a hard time with that.
That is the one thing, because there's not a lot of night stuff you can do now. Some of the cruises stay overnight, like they'll do Cabo for 2 days, or they'll do something else for 2 days. But I think that all the stuff, I don't do the night stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm a bit boring. I'll just be honest with you. I am. And I tell people like the Darren thing, exciting things happen around me, but I'm not the excitement. They're going on around me, and I just happen to find myself in that space. But the cruising, I don't do a lot of nice stuff. By the time I get back, I take a nap. I am so tired.
There's so much to do on a ship too. So
yeah, there and you know what I do? If I have a balcony, I go sit on my balcony and read a book, maybe have a glass of wine. That's about all I do. What is Jump Buffet saying?
you're gonna enjoy the love on the beach with Kim. Something like that.
Yes, I would. I would. But Kim, so, oh, I don't know. We'll have to see how he does. But maybe we take destination to her house, and that'd be fun. Go snorkeling. I would
My
love
husband
that.
doesn't want to go on a cruise. I want to go on a cruise.
Okay, you
like,
come with me then. You can come with me. I'm planning on 2023, and I'm thinking about spring, after the snow's off the hills. But when I can get a real good start on my tan, I'll let you know which one, and we go.
Well,
Sorry,
I know,
Kim, you're out.
I know a YouTuber who I know a YouTuber who works for one of the cruise lines, and she could get us a deal.
Which one does she work for?
Not Princess. What's the other one? The other big one? Carnival.
Carnival? Okay, I got to tell you, all my cruises have been on Carnival. If you go with the long ones, you go on the long ones, then there's not the crazy party atmosphere usually, because the kids go on the shorter ones. That's what they can afford. That's what they do. You rarely find the crazy. So it's good. I like Carnival, and I have like 6 cruises on Carnival. I'm a cruise fanatic, but I didn't get to go the year of the COVID.
No, I didn't get to go to Disneyland this year. I'm brokenhearted.
Topless, yeah, no. You need a vacation for a cruise, LOL. You're on your feet. Okay, I got to tell you something. Last time I went, right? You go on the Royal Caribbean. I like all the cruises, but if I'm on a boat too big, and I'm already walking because, okay, I get off the ship and I hit a city bus. I do. I don't care. They're just little vans, and all the people are almost on top of each other. They're all the people who work there and who live there. And that's who I'm on with, because I just want to be where the people are. You know?
When we went to Cancun, my cousin was one of the people who sets up your vacations, and she was, and they've got this beautiful high rise. I don't want that. I want something small, something that has the actual flavor of Mexico. I can stay in a high rise hotel anywhere in the United States. What's the point of that? And we got this absolutely, it was a place called Dos Playas, and it was wonderful. And I was brokenhearted when a few years later was when they started doing spring break MTV down in Cancun, and they had torn it down and they built a high rise on it. I'm like, no.
And why, you know what? Kids have enough places to go be asses.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. When spring break time was for me in college, I was in my 40s.
Mhm.
And so there wasn't any spring break flavor. Woohoo! No, nobody wants that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's so overblown. It's ridiculous. And I think that there's no reason for people to go that far overboard. I really don't. But now they do it in high school now. They do it
Yeah.
in the colleges. They're going to do what they do. And so, okay, but don't take every place. Leave some place for me. Leave some place where I don't got to see everybody's behind when I'm laying in the sun, because I don't want to do that. I'm sorry, guys. They're just sitting there going, what the hell, Valerie? But you know what? You're going to wear a string like that? I don't need to see that. Are the guys in their little teeny, yeah, the little bathing suits. No, 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 no. I like those trunks. And they wear the swimming trunks. Those are nice looking. But yeah, sorry. Sorry. You know what? But you wear what you like. Wear what you like, I guess. If you can still wear a string bikini, go for it. Go for it, destination. I can't. It'd be horrifying. Just horrifying. I told you. There are some things that I will not subject people to, and that is one of them.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. I wear a pair of shorts and a bathing suit top is what I do now,
Yeah, I like, I don't mind wearing a bathing suit, whatever, but I use the sarong time around my waist when I'm up walking around. I just, you know what? I remember when I was young, it was tube tops and it was hip buggers and all of that stuff. I did that stuff. But yeah, those days are past me now, thank goodness. Thank goodness. But we wear what we can get away with, but not anymore. No, no, no. Oh, Steve, are you leaving?
Nice.
Oh, you know what, Steve has, thank you. And he's the one who did that intro for me on my doggy video.
Nice.
The one that looked like gold and silver. That was so pretty. Yeah, so I think that's usually where I am. Hey, guys, we have gone over the hour I promised destination, and I promised myself. And usually destination's cooking something. What are you cooking tonight?
Well, I've got to get them out. I've got pork baby backs in the smoker, and then I'm just gonna sear them off on the barbecue. And I made potato salad.
What the hell? You are so good. What I ate some queso dip. Oh my God. So guys, I just want to tell you, I love you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being so supportive of Destination. Check out our channel. You're gonna love it. I mean, it's like you're on one of the tour bus, something like that, and they're actually telling you really all about the place she's visiting, all the important spots you want to stop at, where the best beer is if you're going to stop, or the best wine. I take note of all that. It's really been quite fascinating.
Down here and do some wine tasting.
I know. I want to. As soon as it's over, you are going to be seeing me. That's just the truth of it. I get a couple days off. How far are you from here?
Okay, so I'm about 3 hours from Reno, and you're about 3 hours from Reno. So it'll be about a 6-hour drive.
I'm 6 hours from Reno.
6 hours from Reno? Oh, yeah. So it's about 9 hours.
That's not bad.
No.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that. Go down, do some wine tasting. Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, D90 Bell. Okay, guys. Hey, Wakey. We're just leaving Wakey, my dear.
Hi, Wakey.
So anyway, guys, make sure you watch Destination Chronicles. She's always in our stream, always so supportive. And then tells us all the beautiful things she cooks. And I'm always hungry when she comes in. So guys, I just want to tell you, just stay where you are at destination for a minute. I'm going to say goodnight to everyone if I can figure out how to do it. It's a little different now. Let me see. And then Kim will have to tell me if I actually did it.